let's begin with a meditation. If you're in a place where it's appropriate for you to do so, go ahead and close your eyes and begin to take some slow, deep, relaxing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. With every inhale, feel more light entering your body and mind. With every exhale, feel more relaxation and peace occur as you let go of all tension and anything you do not want. Inhaling light and peace, and exhaling as you let go of tension. We picture ourselves on top of a beautiful mountain in the center of a circular grove of trees. Inside the center of this circle, a bonfire blazes forth. It lights us and the grove up with a sacred golden light. We recognize that this light is the light of perfect love and perfect trust, and it easily burns away everything that is not like itself, leaving us clear and peaceful and happy. Into this sacred space, we invoke the presence of our Creator. To some of us, that Creator reveals itself as a god and goddess. We also invite the presence of our divine teachers and angels, and we ask that we be guided and led as we walk upon the way, becoming happier, more peaceful, more prosperous, more loving people. Blessed be. A lot of times what happens on the different forums and comments on videos and things, people will find a spell or like a psalm spell or maybe a candle spell or poppet spell, something, and they'll say, I did this and it didn't work. Get that a lot. I did this and it didn't work. And we've talked about this before, that if you think about a spell as being synonymous to something like a piece of sheet music, it is only going to work to the degree that you have the facility to read the music and play the instrument. And so just getting a piece of sheet music, if you can't play the instrument, isn't going to do you much good. Or if you try to play the instrument, you've never really played it before, you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to be happy with the outcome. And a lot of times a similar thing happens with spell casting. People will find a spell and they don't understand what to do with it. Even if they follow the directions, they don't understand any of the internal processes that are required to make any kind of magic effective. And so then they blame that the spell wasn't good enough. If you're trained, if you've trained your mind and your energy systems appropriately, you can make almost any spell work. Now, it's true that some spells work better than others because of the way they're composed, and so you go through a series of processes that symbolically create change in your deep mind, which then is reflected in your circumstances. And there's many different ways to do that, but if you don't have the skill set, obviously, you're going to have trouble making it work. Now, one of the skills that I find is lacking in most people that profess a practice of magic is that of quieting the mind and the body. And it should be the first step in any kind of magic, the ability to quiet the mind and quiet the body. There are natural defenses that we have up when we are awake in this world, and those defenses are held in place by tension, mental tension and physical tension. And those defenses work to keep us separate from everybody else. And sometimes those defenses are good things to have while we're awake, sometimes they're not, but that's not really the point. The point is, regardless of the defenses, if you have those defenses up while you're trying to work magic, it's sort of like throwing a ball against a wall. It's going to rebound on you. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anything. So the first and probably one of the most important skills to learn if you really are serious about this and you really want to make change with your magic and you want to be effective and successful at it, is disciplining your body, disciplining your mind. Now, your body doesn't have any volition of its own. That's why when the soul or the spirit or the consciousness leaves the body permanently, the body stops functioning. It dies, it decays, it goes back into the nothingness out of whence it came. So knowing that is good news, because that means that your body is your servant. And so it has to obey you when you tell it to relax. So if it doesn't obey you when you're telling it to relax, it's not that your body's at fault, it's that your mind is undisciplined. Your body will reflect tension that is held in the mind. So you can use your body as a guide as to how well you have lowered your defenses. If you are in a state of relaxation, then you know that you're in a state where you can start to work effective magic. A relaxed body is the first step. You also need to relax and focus your mind and quiet your mind. If you have racing thoughts, you're not going to have magical effectiveness. It's just that simple. And a lot of people run to magic when they're all upset or they're all confused, grasping at straws because they have something occurring in their lives that is causing them some sort of panic. And then they go to magic and they have all of this anxiety while they're doing whatever the spell has them do. And sometimes they may get a little bit of a response, but oftentimes they get either nothing or they feel worse and things seem to get worse. And that's because nobody bothered to teach them that the first step in making magic work and be effective is the relaxation and the focusing and the quieting of the mind. And the more quiet our mind is, the more we can actually effect change, the more we can actually accomplish with our magic. And the more serious the issue, the deeper the relaxation needs to be, and the quieter the mind needs to be. And that it takes practice. That doesn't just happen. It's like practicing your scales. If you want to go back to that sheet music example, it doesn't just happen because you wish it. I don't care how much you wish that you were a good piano player, or that you wanted, or that you visualize, or that you pray, or that you invoke, or that you draw talismans. If you don't practice, you won't get good. Similar to the people that do the good grades spell, or the spell to pass exams. I always am very clear that this is not instead of you studying for your exam. This is just to help you to remember and to recall the things that you've studied, so that you don't have the test anxiety screwing you up, right? But you can't expect magic to work just because you wish it worked. Just like you can't expect yourself to play the piano just because you wish that you could play, or that you wish that you were a good basketball player, or that you wished that you were good with money, or whatever. Everything takes practice, and that includes magic. But I think even the people that maybe have been doing magic for a long time, I don't always think are well versed in the understanding that the primary skill set that is necessary for effectiveness is a quiet mind and a relaxed body. And like I believe it's Witchcraft Beyond the Basics, or it might be Advancing Your Craft. There's a meditation, and it's available. You don't have to be a student of those courses. There's a meditation called the Witch's Trance. And it's funny because a lot of people will just find that just on YouTube, and they'll do it and they'll say, whoa, I didn't know you had to be that relaxed. I didn't know you had to have your mind that quiet to get things done. But now it makes sense that I can really get something done if I can keep practicing this. If you were wanting to be a successful ballet dancer, you'd go to class every day and you'd do basic bar exercises just to train yourself in those movements. And if you were trying to, master the violin, you would be practicing different bowing techniques and scales and arpeggi and things like that. To be successful as a witch or a practicing magician, your daily practice should include some sort of deep relaxation and focus of the mind. Now, I have a very simple exercise on my YouTube channel called the Magick Minute, and it's for this very specific purpose of focusing and quieting the mind. And you start out with just a minute of this meditation, and you can just go listen to that. It's a very short lecture, maybe a few minutes. It's called the Magick Minute on my YouTube channel. And you can start out with just 1 minute of this. And then once that feels comfortable, then you can bump it up to another minute. And you can just slowly over time bump the exercise up to about 20 minutes a day. And if you're able to do that 20 minutes a day, once or even twice a day, then you can be very certain that when you start working with the other aspects of spell casting, that your success is much more probable because you're doing it within a very important infrastructure, and that is the quiet mind and the relaxed body. Because your defenses are down. So you're not defending against your success. You're not defending against the energy that you're trying to raise. You're not defending against anything. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people like to practice magic in a circle. And it's not necessary to practice magic in a circle, but that's one of the reasons why we do it often, is because it feels more safe to really let go of your defenses, because you have a circle set up so that you don't have to have anything set up inside your body or mind. You can let yourself go. Another option for that is our orb of light that we teach in A Witch's Primer. That's a nice thing to use if you don't want to do a formal circle. There's all kinds of different ways that you can work. You don't have to do the things that I teach. But no matter what you're working, what kind of system you're working, if you can't focus your mind and quiet your mind and relax your body, you won't get very good results. You just won't. And if you do get results, they might be a little chaotic, sometimes even violent, because like attracts like. And the more tense and upset you are while you're working magic, usually nothing happens. Thank goodness. But sometimes if you can get something to work, you're not going to like the results. You're not going to like the results at all, because they're going to be reflecting the kind of violent thinking that you have. And a lot of times we don't think of our racing thoughts as being violent, but they are. They're very violent. That's not the way that the mind likes to be. It's just a habit of thinking that we've allowed as a species. And it's one of the reasons why this world is so violent and such a horrible place to be, is because of the way that most humans use their mind, or allow their minds to be used. We are very undisciplined with our minds. We're undisciplined with our energy centers. And if you can align your thinking to a quietness and relax your body, maybe even get your energy centers clear every day. I have a meditation on that as well. You're in a place where now you can actually do something. Now you can actually get some work done. And if that's not your priority every day, it's okay. It's not that you're bad. It's just that, I don't want you to feel bad about yourself if you don't meditate every day. It's okay if you don't, but you may want to consider the possibility that if you did have a meditational practice, that if you did have something that allowed you to quiet your mind and to relax your body at will, and that skill was something that you were able to build, that your success rate would go through the roof. Now, obviously, you still want to work within your sphere of influence. You still want to work with sound magical principles, all of that. But none of that really makes any difference if your mind is racing and your body's tense. There's just you can't expect to get anything out of your magic with racing thoughts and a tense body. And you don't want to wait until you need magic to say, okay, well, now I'm going to discipline my mind. By that time, it's kind of too late. So you want to do that as a daily discipline, just like those scales that we were talking about, the scales in arpeggi. You want to do that as a daily discipline every single day because it creates effectiveness in your magic. And that's everything for us around here, is how effective was it? When we do spells, we want to be able to verify that they worked, and we want to be able to repeat those successes. And if we don't have verifiable, repeatable results, then we need to figure it out. And usually one of the things that you can figure out right away is, I didn't really have a very focused mind, and my body really wasn't that relaxed. And that's because that's not a skill that I've mastered. It's just a skill like anything else. It's a skill like penmanship. It's a skill like music. It's a skill like sports. Anything that requires repetition and skill is akin to what we're talking about. And that is the relaxation of your mind and your body. When you can allow yourself to work within a state of mind where your defenses are down and your body is relaxed and your mind is quiet, you will get results. The results are always assured. Now, only to the degree, obviously, that you are skilled and trained in the other areas of magic will you have that success. But even without any other magical training, that alone will start to at least move you magnetically toward what your soul's journey is. And things will start working out for you better, even if you don't have any other magical skill sets developed yet or ever. The ideas of daily relaxing your body and quieting your mind in and of themselves will have much more benefit than pretty much any other skill that you can master. So I recommend that you take a look at starting a daily practice of relaxing your body and quieting your mind, quieting those racing thoughts. And you don't get mad at yourself when your thoughts race. It's just part of how the mind is. But you can notice that as you work a type of meditational practice, whether it be the one that I suggested or something else that you like, that over time you will notice that your mind isn't as racing, that your mind isn't as undisciplined as it is in its untrained state. And the reason why is because in its untrained state, it is simply responding to stimuli based on how every other mind of the species is responding to stimuli. So when you start working at calming the body and quieting the mind on purpose, you're actually working against status quo, but you're working in the manner in which your soul already experiences life. Your soul already has a quiet mind. Your soul already is relaxed. Your soul already is at peace. So as you quiet your mind and relax your body, you start to turn the compass so that you're facing more toward your soul rather than toward the separated mind of the species. And so you can see how that's going to, just without even any other kind of magical training, is going to start to help you because you're going to be ahead of the pack. But not only that, but subliminally, you are going to be leading other people into finding quietness of mind and a relaxation of body. And that is a huge deal, even without magical effectiveness as your goal. That is a huge deal because that starts to enable us to, as a species, have more peace available to us. The more of us that are working like this, there's more peace available to everybody. The more people are claiming peace for themselves. And that's another great reason for having a daily discipline of relaxing your body and quieting your mind. So my recommendation for you, if you don't do something like that every day, is to, first of all, don't get down on yourself about that. That doesn't help anything at all. It's a heroic effort to try to quiet the mind because nobody else is really doing it in the scheme of things. So it's okay, you're doing fine. But If you decide that you want to go down this magical path and increase things like intuition and psychic ability and magical effectiveness and all of the goodies that come along with the magical lifestyle, then I recommend that you start considering a daily practice of quieting the mind and body and really focusing. And one of the ways to do that is by using the technique that I outlined called the Magic Minute. It's very simple and it really works. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. I really appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be.